Hey, what's going on, friends? My podcast every day is broken up into two parts on the free platform. The first part, Act 1, is right now. When it's all done, go right on over to Act 2 to get the second half of the podcast. Thank you so much for checking out my show. Hello, friends. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures each and every day of the work week from right here in the Impact Power Sports studio. Impact Power Sports, ImpactPowerSportsMI.com. Shop for a brand new Yamaha golf cart, perhaps an ATV, an e-bike, go-kart, scooter, you name it. They have it all. Motorcycles at Impact Power Sports. Their dealership showroom is along 14 Mile Road in the middle of nowhere. To the east of Rockford, still Rockford technically, kind of like between Rockford and Greenville. And you can visit there and say hello. Please mention me when you visit, as always, when it comes to all of my sponsors. Very, very important for you to mention the names, or my name, when you say hello to the sponsors. We are off and running. And I wanted to get into a horrifically embarrassing moment again for me. And the best types of these embarrassing moments are when there are witnesses. And there was definitely a witness to this. And it is a member of the chat. That would be Chris D., or Man Bun Chris, as he's known. Now, Chris is, of course, the driving key, the main cog, if you will, of the Michigan Rangers program. And they have a semi-pro football club that I do the PA announcing for. And there were two games this weekend, Friday and last night. And, okay, this is another Eric Zane identity problem. I think I have it pinpointed that when I interact with someone, I get really kind of nervous. And in the first 2-3 seconds of the interaction, my mind goes in a certain direction. And then I commit and I start talking, and whatever I'm addressing is inaccurate. And if I could just pause, okay, who am I looking at? Why do I know this person? Then things wouldn't come out so weird like they did on Friday. I was in the press box of the stadium where the soccer game is going on. Now, a little bit of context. When I walked into there, there's usually a third dude that helps us. His name is Colton. And we call him Coltron. I guess he doesn't like that, but Chris said, yeah, this kid called him Coltron. And that kind of stuck. But he doesn't care for that nickname. Doesn't matter. I go, where's Coltron? He goes, he's on a date. And I go, first game of the year, and he's not here? Because he's on a date? And he goes, yeah, I know. I go, oh, my God. Okay. Put a pin in that, as they say. While I'm in the press box, I'm looking down at the fans, and I see some folks that I recognize. And so I mentioned them in a silly way. Like one of them, his name is Joe Roper. And he's a teacher. He teaches with Diana. And I see in our house, he's known as Mr. Roper because he taught one of our kids or half our kids or all of them. I don't know. And the guy makes me sick, too, because he always looks so young. He hasn't aged in like 20 years. And I'm looking down. I go, oh, it's a star-studded event. We've got Joe Roper here. And he gets a big pop. You know, his friends are there. And he he puts his hand up and he looks at me and he gives me a thumbs up. And I'm like, hey, Joe Roper. All right. Now, so later on, okay, so that ends. Next thing I know is there's a person walking into the press box. And I don't even know why I told you that first part about Joe Roper. Just forget I told you that. It's confusing. All you need to know is that Coltron went on a date. Man Bun Chris is now here. He witnessed all this. Shortly after I find out that Coltron went on a date, someone walks into the press box. And I go, hey, Coltron. And the guy goes, hey. Now, Coltron is young and has hair. This guy is old and has none. This is not Coltron. Why I thought it was him, I don't know, because Chris just told me he won't be there tonight. Yet there I am as this guy walks in and says, hey, now I know this guy. But now that I've confused myself and him, I go, aren't you on a date? And he looks at me and he goes, no, my wife's on a date. I think he was just being funny. And then I realized who this is. This is a guy by the name of Eric, who I had just seen 2 weeks earlier at an event for Frank Fuss's Agent Equity Group. I had spent part of an evening with him at the casino hanging out with him. So I know who this is. Eric's wife teaches with Roper, and they're pals. So they were sitting next to each other, and he's like, oh, that's easy up there. I'm going to go say hello, which is totally cool. But there I am, and I don't know who he is for probably a 5 to 10 second period of time. And then it all clicks in my brain. The puzzle pieces fit together. At some point, I look at Chris D, and I'm like, what the fuck did I just do? And this guy's totally flummoxed. And then I'm like, I pull it together, and I go, oh, Eric, yeah, hey, buddy, glad you're here. Oh, he's sitting with Roper? Oh, that's cool. Okay, I'll shout you out. Yeah, all right. And then I just happened to be on my way out when I turned around. So then I walked out of the press box. Then I realized, and I walked back in, and that dude has now gone. And I look at Chris. I go, I'm glad you saw that. I am so glad that you witnessed that. Okay? Because that's exactly what has happened anytime I'm out in public. If I see anybody, that moment is going to happen. So I know Man Bun Chris has seen that happen. I know that Kevin Kuipers has witnessed that. I'm sure some of you other audience members, maybe at a point in time, have even had it happen to you. Oh, hey, I say you're one person, but you're not. It's ridiculous. It is so frustrating when I do that. Confusing, awkward. Chris writes, so uncomfortable. Yeah, he just had this look on his face like, what the? Why are you calling him Coltron? What? That's ridiculous. Oh, my God. So that happened. Last night, stand by, was another game there, so we meet again. And nothing like that happened, but it was the Rangers are playing a team from the Chicago area, and they come in, and they're coached by a chick. So it's all dudes, and this one chick is coaching them, and she's like super pissed off. And she, Coltron is now with me and Chris, and at halftime, it's his job to deliver the pizzas down to the visiting team because that's part of what Chris is hosting. He has to pay for that shit and delivers it to him. So Colt goes down and delivers the pizza. And he comes back and he goes, oh, my God, because the visitors weren't playing that well. And I guess in the locker room, she was ripping them a new asshole. And she's like, what the fuck? You guys play like you don't have any balls. She's totally beating the shit out of these guys. And we're like, holy fuck. Chris says there was another red card post game after you left. It got messy. Oh, man. Yeah, it was a lot of high tension late as a guy from the other team at one point. He hit one of our guys a little too aggressive, and the dude for our team is a little fella. I mean, he's a teeny weeny little cutie patootie, teeny tiny guy. I mean, he looks like my grandson who just turned 12. He's that little. I described him as so small, he looks like Stephen Hawking before the ALS. And it's so true. His name is Cesar Little or something. I don't know, but he's just a little fuck. He's cute. Anyway, he got hammered. And then there was almost a fight. Our guy went after him, but then they ended up like keeping him away. So that dude got his second yellow. And I guess when you get 2 yellows, you get a red. And then, like, you're in big trouble. But then our fans, they started to heckle the bench. Chris laughing at the crack when I said, does Cesar sleep in a drawer? Somebody starts heckling their bench, and they start giving it back to the fans. And I hear somebody from their bench go, why don't you shut the fuck up? And I'm like, oh. God, there's kids everywhere. It's like, oh, fuck, Jesus, come on. It was cold, though. It was really cold. That probably kept the fans down. There just weren't the people there that we thought that there would be. But I'll let you know when the next game is. You should go. I think it costs you like $12, which there was some consternation about the price, which I don't think that's bad at all. To get into a semi-professional soccer game where at any one point you could hear a player tell a fan to shut the fuck up. I mean, that alone is worth the price of admission. And these fans, I keep encouraging them to get really intoxicated so that they'll give the refs shit and dog the players of the other team. Man Bun Chris says that friend of the show and friend in life, Go Josh Go, will be doing the games while I'm up north picking up sticks. Oh, that's great. I love Josh. Don't let him get too comfortable, though. That's my gig. There was some mom who got pissed because she had to pay the $12. As Chris said, games this coming weekend, Friday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Which field? Is it at the one on the campus or at the big football field again? Man Bun Chris says, of course, Josh doesn't do facts like EZ. That has become a reason to go when I do facts. Like, case in point last night, the team from Edgewater Castle. Edgewater is a neighborhood on the north side of Chicago. And what I do is I'll look up some of the facts about the community. And at one point in the game, I will give you facts about the visiting team. On the Friday game, the team from Southern Indiana, I said, hey, Southern Indiana Gladiators, they're from Southern Indiana, which is home to the largest field of fossils in the world. A certain type of fossils are found in abundance in Southern Indiana. Then I made up a silly fact that the minor league baseball team is known as the Southern Indiana Fossils. I made nothing up on last night's facts, though. And Chris recorded me doing it, but I didn't even know he was recording me doing it. And he sent it to me after the game. Hold on a second. We don't want that. That's Q100. These are my facts.
Right to the shore of...
Oh, shit. What the fuck?
Right to the shore of Lake Michigan. Notable residents of Edgewater, the late Harold Ramis from Ghostbusters fame and the movie Stripes. Very, very funny man. Also, a young lady by the name of Hillary Rodham was born there. Lived in the Edgewater neighborhood until the age of 3. Not very popular in West Michigan.
EZ's facts at the Rangers soccer game. Man Bun Chris says, you sound like Lou Gehrig played it this way. Yeah, we got a sweet echo there, which, by the way, during the game, in the Friday game, Chris is running the clock. And he sucks at it. He's absolute shit. And last year, he fucked it up all year. And first game, each half is 45 minutes. And literally all you have to do is hit start and don't touch it. And then 15 minutes into the game, the clock stops and the horn goes off. Like that's the end of the half. So I'm like, oh my God. And so it was completely a disaster. He had to go back and then everything was screwed up. Okay. And then the refs are looking up at the press box and I have to key on the mic and say, yeah, we got it. It's, we're working on it right now. It was just fucking weird. But, Chris says the Daktronics at the football field is like the Da Vinci Code. Yeah, those devices, that's the maker. They're the only ones that make these things called Daktronics. They make scoreboards. The one at the hockey rink is the same goddamn way. And the only person who knows how to run it is, the off-ice official that I sit next to. I'm not allowed to say her name anymore because there was a big stink that went down during this past hockey season because of one of these people was a total bitch and fucked everything up. So now I don't say those people's names anymore because I get mean emails and crybaby reactions, and I frankly don't want to deal with the bullshit. But anyway, this other fucker who's useless filled in one game, and I knew we were fucked in that game. This happened a couple years ago. 11,000 people in the arena. And this guy is old. And everything is slow, And very rarely, but once in a while, maybe once a game, I guess it isn't that rare, the ref will drop the puck or somehow the clock will start. There'll be a mix-up, and you have to go and reset the clock. And that was the problem. So all the refs look at the clock, and they're waiting for the clock guy to go thumbs up. I got it. I fixed it. And that doesn't happen. And this moron is then looking at the thing, hitting buttons, and he can't get it right. All of a sudden, the whole scoreboard goes dark. We don't know what's going on. It's a nightmare. Ref skates over. He talks to that little hole. He goes, everything all right? And this guy goes, no. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm seated right next to him. And he's panicking. Now it's getting worse. And I can tell people are looking at me, and I'm like, look, I don't know how to operate that thing. It's not my fault if the fill-in guy doesn't know what he's doing. This is terrible. And he continued to fall apart and come unglued. And it probably took about 3 minutes. It was so incredibly awkward. My God, I'll never forget that. All right. So then the second half started, and I was able to help out because I was rolling the time on my cell phone in case shit went bad. But Chris finally got his shit together. Chris says in college, I also did shot clock for basketball games at Cornerstone and always fudged that up too. Yeah, big time. Speaking of fudge, this is horrible. I had the most ridiculous code brown on Saturday. And I normally, now I'm going to go work backwards and tell you what led to this nonsense. Son of a bitch. Pooh Bear and I are driving separate vehicles. We're going to drop her car off and get these snow tires off, all seasons put on. I'm in my truck. I'm cruising along. And then whammo. Now, you know how when I didn't think I was gambling on a fart. I just thought I had to fart. You know how a lot of times in the gambling on fart scenario, whether you know you are or whether you know that you're not, there's usually some fart that precedes when the disaster happens. So if you're actually gambling, it would start as fart, and then something bad happens. There was none of that. First of all, I didn't realize I had this issue. And when this manifested while I was driving, there was no fart, which is, I think, rare for me. It wasn't like start as fart and then finish as, uh-oh. No. I was at the intersection, if you're familiar with the area, of Baldwin and Cottonwood. And as I'm going east, I should say, on Baldwin, approaching the light, that catastrophe took place. And I knew right away that we had all hands on deck, no chance of containment. It was ridiculous, Chernobyl type of meltdown. Like immediately, people are hitting the big red button in my body. Like, stop the pumps, stop. As I get through the light, I immediately put on my blinker. There's a Walgreens there. And as I'm turning right, I'm calling Pooh Bear. And I give her the news. I go, I just pooped my pants. Pull into the parking spot. I walk, welcome to Walgreens. I go, hey. I was concerned about matter actually migrating out of my ass and down my leg. Jeremy writes, not Walgreens, Wall Browns. Sarah says, now I'll always refer to that intersection as Brown Walgreens. Now, all right, I'm able to sit down, and I'm now naked in the stall. I kicked off my shoes and pulled my sweats off and my underwear. The underwear is laying there. My phone is up on the toilet thing. I notice, soon after that, the door opens. And from when you're walking in, you can see, he would be able to see my pants, shoes, and underwear. I guarantee you he saw it. So I'm like, oh, fuck, man, he thinks I'm jacking it. So I gather my articles of clothing. And right away, it seemed to be all moisture, but from my asshole, which is horrible. But that was actually, I think, more of a saving grace. Because then I'm like, do I keep the underwear or just throw it away? And I said, fuck that. I'm not throwing away my underwear. So I balled it up so that the poo-poo was where I couldn't touch it. And I put it in my pocket of my hoodie. Not this hoodie, but a hoodie. And then I cleaned myself up. And my pants have a shit stripe all the way down the back of them that you can see. So I'm like, well, what am I going to do? And I had to get, I'm halfway to the fucking place. I go, well, fuck this shit. I'm just going. Now, no one complained, and I didn't smell anything. Later on in the day, the underwear was on the steps. And she goes, you didn't throw those away? They've been sitting there all day? So Chris says, seriously, why keep it? Well, I'm going to wash it. It's an article of clothing. Why wouldn't I keep it? What, are you crazy? I'm not just going to throw away my clothes, idiot. Did I do something wrong? Man Bun Chris says, NFK probably giving it to you this time. Eric, we've talked about this. You know, I thought about that, and it's still way better because he shit and then left it in there and then left it for someone. Big E Saint says, why not just head home? Well, we were under a schedule thing, and I needed to. I just decided to continue on with our journey. Everybody says that I'm sick. Chris says, yeah, that's so gross, man. Corey says, yes, you did something wrong. Nick says a pack of boxers are like $30 now. You got to wash them. Adam asks if I sniffed them. I did not sniff my underwear. No. Molly has done this too. She said she kept hers. Well, yeah. I mean, come on. What do you think clothes washers do, morons? Give me a break. So then I get back into the truck, and I go to call Pooh Bear. She's in the car next to me. No phone. I left it in the stall. I'm like, Jesus, fuck, what am I doing? So then I went back in there, and sure enough, there's a guy in the shitter. And the time that it took me to get out of there, get to my car, and come back, there's a guy in there. So I try to open it. It's locked. I can see through the little crack there. I see feet underneath. I'm like, ah, fuck. It's a guy who works there. And I go, hey, I left my phone in there. And he goes, oh, yeah, I see it. Okay. And so I got my phone. It was just so awkward. Everything was fucked up. So that was part of my Saturday. Just couldn't wait to tell you. All right. Now, I'm about to update Fatathon, but before I do that, I'm going to kick out the audience members that are enjoying the show on Facebook and YouTube. Sorry, but if you want the rest of the show, you can get it on Twitch. Just go to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live or download the Twitch app and search at Eric Zane Live. My Patreon is available for you. You can get 7 days free, patreon.com/Eric Zane. I just posted the latest audio of Who Are These Free Beers show number 55. That was a good one. They're all good ones. And the latest Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. Luke with a great question. Are we doing a Big Fraud Wednesday? Nope. Ben and I are punting. We'll be back next week. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. Sign up for 7 days free there. And if you cancel like during the 7 days, then you won't be charged. And you still get the 7 days. And then you can decide, you know what? This is fun. I'm going to re-enable the card. $5 a month is all the audio. $10 a month, audio, video, live streams, first crack at new material. And if you sign up for 1 full year, I'll take 10% off the cost. Email the show, eric@ericzaneshow.com on the Shoreliners Striping inbox. Let's see, is there anything else I'm forgetting? Probably. All right. Before I let you guys go, I do want to mention that portions of this show are brought to you by Frank Fuss, My Policy Shop Insurance. Thanks to Frank. He just signed up for another marketing run here on the show. If you need help signing up for Obamacare, go to buyinsurancehere.com. And, well, frankly, you do need help if you have to get your insurance from Obamacare. Yeah, you could do it yourself. It's pretty, I don't want to say easy. There's a lot of steps to it, but Frank can sign you up and take care of everything for you. And no screw-ups because he is a licensed independent agent / broker of all things insurance. And it doesn't cost you a dime to use his services. Just go to buyinsurancehere.com and get started. Haircut day was Friday at King's Room Barbershop. Thank you to them. They've got 3 locations, Caledonia, Northland Drive, and at 821 36th Street in beautiful Wyoming, Michigan. King's Room Barbershop, online at kingsroom.net. Kingsroom.net for exact locations, hours of operation, and schedules of the good folks over at King's Room Barbershop. And then there's Kuiper Tree Care. My God. Busy with the recent storms that went through. You can use them for storm debris cleanup, tree removal, stump grinding, tree trimming, and tree risk assessment. If you're in West Michigan, reach out to Kuiper Tree Care, KUIPER, treecare.com, or call or text 616-828-8225, 616-828-8225. All right. Let's get into the Fatathon. We had a great week. What kind of? I'm going to start with Rebecca. And let's see. What did she write to me? The scale can kiss my ass this week. 283.2 pounds. Okay. And she was at 280.2. I'm staying within my daily calories, and I'm showing up at the gym. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that whatever your required daily intake is, you are keeping it lower than that? Is that what you're telling me? And you still gain 3 pounds? Maybe you need to go poo-poo or something. My God. She says, I think maybe I might be eating too late in the day and my body is packing it on. I don't know. There were also days that I wasn't getting the recommended calories, so my body decided to hold on to what I had? ? All that said, I feel incredible. I set a new personal record for bent over single arm rows of 65 pounds. Oh, my God. I maybe could have lifted more, but my form was going to shit. My clothes are all more loose, too. I had to break into my box of skinny clothes last week. Well, I don't know. Maybe you're just packing on the muscle. And then she writes, I don't know, and quite frankly, I don't care because ... And I'll continue with that in a second. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. I just keep doing what you're doing. Anyway, but for the record, that's up 3 pounds, which means you are now down 11.4 from 14.4 in 11 weeks. Your old pal EZ, 180 to 179, dropped a pound. That makes 6.5 pounds in 11 weeks. Amanda has put together 2 consecutive weeks of drops. She went from 296.6 to 295.6 for a 1 pound loss. That puts her officially over 20 pounds lost. She's at 20.9 in 18 weeks. Okay, you have 2 weeks where you have dropped. Let's go for 3 now. All right? You keep this up, and you're going to start to gain some momentum here. You're gonna gain some momentum like you rolling down a hill. Jeremy gets the star on the blubber again. He was at 236.1 last week. Now he's at 233.5 for a 2.6 pound loss. That puts him well over 100 pounds lost. He is at, well, I think he was last week, 101.8, I think, wasn't he? Hope I'm not fucking this up. Now, you were at 99.2 pounds lost last week. Now you're at 101.8. In 36 weeks. Outstanding work. There was some pictures I wanted to share with Jeremy, too. I had him, let's see here. His face is so dramatically smaller. I don't have this ready now, so I don't want to do it. I do have this, though. I do have this picture I want to share because he sent along the body shots. Okay, this is good. September of 2024. There he is, day 1, September 9th, 2024. 3 months later, he had gone from 335 to 285. That's a big difference. Then in February, 285 to 267.2. April 13th, 248.5. And May 14th, 235.2. That's great, man. And the image I saw of his face, like I got an image of his face from when this all started, and compared to where he's at now, and looks like a different dude. You know, a lot of times, like your face planes out first, or part of it is it just kind of falls off your face like that. He looks 15 years younger. Remarkable. Outstanding. Now, but a lot of people, a lot of folks are anxious to hear about this date, because audience members Jeremy and Rebecca, which are both Fatathon members, they went out together. By the way, I don't know if Jeremy meant to do this, but he sent me this picture, and I'm not sure what this is. He looks like my underwear after I poop my pants. Jeremy, did you mean to send me this picture? Because that looks like fuck. By the way, I can give you an example of how different Jeremy's face is. This is Jeremy and Rebecca on their date. And this is what Jeremy used to look like compared to that picture there. Jeremy's the one with the beard. So these two go on a date, and they both rushed to the computer to tell me about the date. And I'm going to read to you what they wrote. This is great. He writes, 100 pounds lost total, star in the blubber, whoop-de-doo. Nobody cares about that. Everyone wants to know about the date that Becky and I went on. So I'm going to tell you the things from his perspective and from her perspective, because she wrote me an email too. In case you don't know, I think the way this unfolded was just by talking on here and me doing my thing. I kind of hinted around that with their shared interests of losing weight and, listening to the show, maybe their sensibilities would match and they could go hang out. And Jeremy, he did it. He approached, and then boom, next thing you know, they're going out to eat. So that's great. This is what he writes. Everything went great from my perspective. We met up for dinner at Sanchez. Thank goodness I made reservations because the place was packed. It was a bit of a wait for our food, but it was well worth it. Our dinner was outstanding. The food was some of the best that I've ever had, and the atmosphere is perfect for the first date conversation. I don't think I could have asked for a better dinner. From there, we walked to the Bob. I had never been there, so I didn't know what to expect. The place was really cool. We spent some time in the basement playing games in the arcade, and Becky kicked my ass at every game we played. It was humiliating, but I had fun. At about 10:30, we left because I had to work at midnight. We took a walk around the block, and afterwards I walked her to her car because I'm a gentleman before we went our separate ways. It's okay that I read this, right? I mean, this isn't a problem. I mean, because he follows. He has more that he has to say. Because he says some further things. I'm assuming that that's all right. He writes, I sent it to you so you could read. Thank you. Eric, I'm not going to lie to you. That was one of the top 10 best nights of my life. We maintained great conversation the entire night. We had fun eating food and playing games and just hanging out with each other. To me, it felt like old friends getting together and hanging out with each other. The chemistry was instantly noticeable, and there were no moments at all where I felt awkward or uncomfortable. A true feat with my tism. At the Bob, I grabbed for her hand to crack one of her thumb knuckles because someone showed me a good way to crack it once, and I wanted to show her how to crack it. Instead, she held my hand, and I thought, possibly out loud, oh, okay, we're doing this. This is cool. Some people are saying that my Riz is off the charts. I don't know. I'm not sure what that means. I'll have to keep asking around. When we got to the car, I went for a hug. That hug was awesome. We squeezed each other tight, and I felt her strength for the first time. She could absolutely crush me. And for some reason, I really liked that. Becky is far from a frail human or woman. She is tough and strong and takes no shit. Feeling how strong she was may or may not have, but definitely did give me a bit of a halvesy. I didn't think it could have gotten better, and then it did. We split from our hug, and she gives me a kiss goodbye. Just a quick little peck. I was taken off guard. I was shooketh. I was shooketh, as the kids would say. I said, rewind, hold up, get back over here. And we totally swapped so much spit. Phenomenal. Perfect way. Perfect way to end a damn near perfect night. Our next scheduled meetup was the pinball orgy until my drive to work. We were texting back and forth. Well, she was texting and I was speaking into the phone. And I asked if she worked on Memorial Day. She said no. And I should also have the day off. So we're going to get together and go to the beach next Monday. I'm thrilled. I cannot wait. A new love is a brewing, and I'm really excited to see where this goes. Yeah, I think everybody's happy about that. Pictures of the food. That looks like dessert. So that's 1.5 pounds for Becky. And that's another 1.5 pounds for Becky. And here they are. That's cute. You guys look great together. Becky weighed in with her take. By the way, I have a workplace staff meeting to get to after this. She wrote Fatathon Week, whatever. She told us about I already read that. She goes, I don't know about the weight thing. Frankly, I don't care because I had an absolutely outstanding Saturday evening. The food at Sanchez was phenomenal, but the company was even better. Jeremy is a gentleman. The conversation just flowed so nicely. None of the awkwardness that comes with a lot of first dates. I didn't feel the need to pretend to be someone I'm not. A lot of guys are intimidated by my personality. I am not a demure lady. I speak my mind. I'm also taller than the average girl. I probably lift heavier than most guys, not me, and I'm independent. It was just such a refreshingly pleasant night all around. We played arcade games, had great food, sipped tasty drinks. This poor guy even survived an unplanned and entirely unintentional run-in with my sister and brother-in-law. I'm so enjoying talking to him every day. He is easy to talk to, and I love that. There was hand-holding and a kiss goodnight. I eagerly await our next date together. Ari Zane really hit this one out of the park. Signed, Becky Saquon Barkley. Outstanding. Great job. I'm happy for you. There you go. Alan says this sounds like the start of a porno. Chris says now they're going to get fat, happy, and content. Fatathon over. Oh, I would hate them so much. Man Bun Chris says, LOL, so cool it came from the podcast. Happy for you guys. I'm just happy you had a great time. Whatever happens, happens. That's between you. You seem to have similar sensibilities. Now, there have been several audience members that have tried to, like, for example, radio voice Linda, murder lover Linda. Anytime I encourage a meetup, she says, fuck off. That's her thing. Okay? She's finicky like a cat, and she does not take my suggestions. She's like, fuck you. You don't know. She doesn't take any of my suggestions. It's like a big sister I've never had. That's like 15 years older than me. Tofa says, let's go back to what Corey said. Are y'all going to raw dog anal behind a dumpster? I didn't know that he said that. So, I don't think you can shock those two. I mean, Jeremy's a truck driver, and you heard Rebecca. She's not like, other chicks. Nick says, Linda watches too much murder porn and doesn't trust anyone. All right. Folks, you're outstanding. That is the first half of today's podcast day. I'm going to come back after the staff meeting and do the rest of the show. But I knew that we were going to get a lot of mileage out of the awkwardness at the soccer game, the Code Brown catastrophe. My God, what a crap show that is. Ugh. And then the Fat-a-thon along with these two and their date. Awesome. Tofus says, I'm happy for you two. Yeah, I think everybody is. What a time. I mean, how much the game has changed. These two people losing weight. And I mean, Tofus, or I should say Jeremy, the sheer amount. And let these two be an inspiration for you. My God. All right. That's going to do it for the first half of the show. Back a little bit later. Bye-bye. All right. That is Act 1 of the podcast. Act 2 is available right after this one. Go check it out. What are you doing? Don't miss a second of it. Thank you so much.